a few things that a fragile narcissist is constantly looking for, constantly seeking to validate and fuel their ego, their perception of reality. Unlike their grandiose counterparts, the fragile narcissists possess a delicately constructed self-image and reality that requires constant maintenance and reinforcement that their reality is right. They need that constant admiration and validation to boost their ego, to protect them from the real reality and help them believe that the reality that they've crafted within their mind is factual. So there's a few things that a fragile narcissist will look out for to keep their perception of reality valid. And one of the first of these is things to be offended by. We all know in life it's very easy to be offended. There's a lot of offensive things out there that aren't even directed at us. So we all know how effortless it can be to be offended. A fragile narcissist has an extremely strong desire to be constantly perceived as the victim in any given situation because they feel entitled to just have without giving anything in return. So they seek situations where they can be offended so that they can relish in the sympathetic attention. Anyone who stands up to them gets accused of attacking them. They get to play the victim and they get sort of special treatments, special privileges, all because they pretended to be offended. Rejection and abandonment is another one. Now, if you've come out of a relationship with a narcissist who constantly devalued and discarded, it's normal to have a heightened fear of rejection and abandonment. It's also normal to be on the lookout for it when you've experienced it in the past. And this is when our own mindset comes into force and we have to kind of think we weren't rejected, we were redirected, that it's time to find something new. It's time to find something that is going to benefit us and not continually hurt us. There's plenty of suffering in life. When they abandon us, we've got to realise that they've actually released us and we're now free to think for ourselves, to feel for ourselves. It's a process and it's a devastating one and it's a hard one and there's lots of different avenues to take to recover. However, it's a very worthwhile one. No, you shouldn't have to go through it in the first place. However, once you've been through it, you've got to find what works for you to get through it so that it doesn't become your personality. With a narcissist, becomes their personality trait. It becomes who they are as a person. They also have that victim mindset becomes who they are as a person, which is why they're so believable and convincing in the lies and the stories that they tell people. With their fear of abandonment and rejection, they're constantly on the lookout for it. So you can simply want to go out for lunch with your friends. You can simply want to go and play the sport you play every week. And the narcissist is going to be sat there going, oh, I've planned a surprise meal for you, to make you feel bad for going out and not eating the meal that they've slaved over for hours for you. They always do it in a way that makes you feel bad, that makes you feel guilty. The fragile narcissist loves nothing more than to make you feel obligated and feel guilty so that you stop living life on your terms and start living life on their terms. So they look for situations where they can make out that you're rejecting them in some way or that you're abandoning them in some way so that you feel bad and you abandon your other plans to be there for the fragile narcissist. Things to be resentful for. It's very easy to be resentful, especially when you've had a narcissist deceive you. This is something we all have to work through. Narcissistic people are incredibly envious of others, so they harbour an intense resentment on those that they perceive have something that they haven't, or have something that they want. They are very self-entitled people, so they are hypersensitive to any perceived threat of somebody taking something from them, which is why you'll often notice narcissistic people aren't too keen on sharing. They're very keen on borrowing. They'll more than happily take things from you. They're not that keen on giving things. With that sense of entitlement and that envy, it builds a lot of resentment, and it creates a strong desire in them to gain that control. So they are on the lookout for things to be resentful for, and if it's all possible, they will cause resentment in others so that they can attack and accuse others of being the resentful one, the bitter one, the jealous one, which makes the narcissist feel better about themselves. Things to be critical of. Now, even constructive feedback can feel like a devastating blow when you've worked hard on something. Criticism isn't the nicest of things, and when you are with a narcissist, that criticism is going to come in an abundance to crush who you are as a person. They're looking to make you feel inferior so they can feel superior. They're looking to make you feel like you're not enough so you don't believe you deserve any better. Yet they're constantly on the lookout for things that they can be critical of to seek that validation within themselves. They will habitually scrutinise others. They will highlight other people's faults, flaws, mistakes, perceived deficiencies. They will subject others to relentless amounts of criticism and humiliation and belittlement to compare themselves favourably to other people. So if you're driving, they will constantly pull you down over your driving. Mention theirs. Car journey with a narcissist who's been criticised by their driving isn't one of the most pleasant journeys to be on. So again, it's that double standards. They'll happily criticise you, but no one's allowed to criticise them, yet they are on the lookout for it. They are on the lookout for how they can criticise and bring other people crashing down, and they're on the lookout for anything they can be offended by, anything they can be criticised by, so that they can play the victim. Oh, nothing's ever good enough for you, is it? So again, they want to make you feel guilty. Excuses. Narcissistic people utilise excuses to shirk any form of responsibility, to avoid any accountability so that they don't have to face the consequences for their actions. So they're always looking for excuses. They're always looking for somebody else to blame, somebody else to shift the blame onto, so that they can scapegoat another person, so that the narcissist doesn't have to take the fall for their behaviour. The scapegoat takes the fall for their behaviour. They're always looking for justifications similar to those excuses. They want to rationalise their behaviour away to maintain that sense of entitlement and avoid their own deficiencies. They're always looking for that supply. Narcissistic people crave supply from outside sources. They can't regulate themselves in that way. They've created a reality, and they need people to feed that reality to them so that they can believe it within themselves, so that they don't have to deal with their own insecurities. They're seeking that external validation to sustain their fragile self-esteem. Narcissistic people are always looking for things that work in their favour. People who are always looking to be offended, who criticise you, yet are always looking at the ways you've criticised them, that go all out to be resentful of others, that don't take responsibility for their behaviour, or people that are wise, that you give them a wide berth. Because if you don't, they will negatively impact your life. We can get sucked in because we simply want to help. And narcissistic people thrive off people wanting to help them, especially the fragile narcissist, because gaining people who want to help them gives them the enablers and flying monkeys to give them the validation that they'll just help themselves to other people's stuff. If anyone's got any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you and to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon, a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and 15 rules to deal with narcissistic people if you're unable to go no contact. I'll link those into the description also if you'd like to go and check them out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.